Interesting. Now, speaking with Tim prior to the call, Mark, he had a common question amongst his audience, and they were quite intrigued to listen to your thoughts on the following. We get a lot of comparisons between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Which one is going to have a lot more value moving forward. So I guess based on the tokenomics of Bitcoin, which has a predefined inflation rate. Obviously the halving events, whereas Ethereum's value comes from projects being built on top of that particular blockchain and its adoption rate. Where do you see more value yourself? Are you, in the Bitcoin camp, the Ethereum camp? Which one do you think would have more value moving forward for potential investors?
Yeah. To answer the question, Bitcoin is more developed. It's the most developed. It's the oldest, right? It's the king. And Ethereum is the crown prince, so it's kind of the second place. And I'll give you the way we look at it. So in 2018, when we started, I said we invest 70% in equity, 20 to 30% in tokens, and we bought basically 4 projects in 2018. We bought Bitcoin because we thought it was like a Series B. And when I say we bought, the reason I say we're different, we don't trade. We buy and we hold, and we have a 10-year life. And at the end of 10 years, we have to give the money back to investors. That's the way venture capital works. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to hold Bitcoin forever, literally. And that doesn't mean I'll hold all of it forever. I'll use some of it, but I'm going to hold it forever. Ethereum, I'll probably hold forever, at least parts of it, because I do believe, as you said, it's a building block. And we'll talk about why I think this in a second. But we bought Bitcoin because we thought it was a Series B. And a Series B means you think you can definitely make 10 times your money, maybe more. And when we were buying it, $4,000, we were pretty sure we could make 10 times our money. And sure enough, we've made 10 times our money. We bought Ethereum as a Series A, which means you think you can make 25 times your money. It doesn't mean you will, but it means you think you can. And interestingly, it's up about that. We bought some Solana, which was a seed investment. Now, a seed investment can go up 100x or go to 0. And a lot of them go to 0. And that's the nature of venture capital. It's a power law game. Mm-hmm. It's not about hits. It's about slugging percentage. It's how far you hit the ball when you actually hit it. So in the internet, there were 80 protocols. Today, there are 5. What happened to those 75? They went to 0. Mm-hmm. But it didn't matter because you couldn't invest in them, right? You couldn't own any of them. You can't own TCP/IP. Mm-hmm. But at the base layer of the internet is TCP/IP. It's actually IP, and then TCP/IP sits on top of it. And then there's FTP to move files. There's SMTP for email, HTTP for websites, and www that ties it all together. So it's a perfect stack. In Web3, I can make a case that Bitcoin is the base layer and that every asset will eventually settle on Bitcoin. I can make that case, right? That Filecoin, IPFS is kind of like FTP. Ethereum is like the www dot, right? It's the building block toolkit. Mm-hmm. In the middle, is it Solana? Is it Cosmos? Is it Polkadot? Is it Avalanche? I don't know. And it's not a perfect map of SMTP and HTTP. So that's one mental model. The other, the maxis will tell you, nope, it's Lord of the Rings, one chain to rule all chains. It's Bitcoin, it's Lightning, L3, L4. and that's all there is, and that's all there's going to be. Maybe show me how Lightning can scale. Right now, mathematically, it can't do what you say it can do, so maybe you'll fix it. And there are no L3s and L4s yet, so we'll see. But to answer your question, I think Ethereum probably has more upside
than downside, yeah.
In terms of multiple, right, than Bitcoin. Bitcoin, look, I think Bitcoin is digital gold. Okay, it's money. Gold has been money for 5,000 years. What is money? Money is an asset that exists in the absence of a liability. Only gold fulfills that. Everything else that we think of as money is currency. Currencies sit on top of gold. Gold is the base layer of money for all money in the world. Every central bank owns it. And they build the money, the currency on top of it using debt. And it's fiat, so it's bad because it can be devalued. And there have been 775 paper currencies in the history of the world, 3/4 of them zero. They've disappeared. The rest will eventually disappear too. So gold has survived for 5,000 years, but it's not very divisible and it's not very portable. Like if I had a bar of gold, which if I were Kyle Bass, I would reach under my desk and pull out a bar of gold because he keeps them under his desk. And I think I'm a pretty fit guy for a 60-year-old, but I couldn't break that bar of gold into 3 pieces to send you each a piece. Even if I could, which I can't, I couldn't stuff it in the phone to send it to you. So it's not divisible, it's not portable. If I have Bitcoin, I can punch a couple buttons and send it to you immediately. And the stock to flow ratio of Bitcoin is the same as gold, which is interesting. So I think it becomes the digital gold, the base layer of money for the future. And Hal Finney, God rest his soul, said that, 9 years ago, that it was likely that would happen. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, what does that mean? That means the $5 trillion value, the monetary value of gold. There's $10 trillion of gold. 5 of it's, earrings and chalices and gilding. That doesn't count. The monetary value in the central bank vaults is 5 trillion. That's definitely replaced by Bitcoin. I mean, no question in my mind, so we get to 5 trillion. So that's from here, what, 6x, 7x? That's pretty good. I'll take that.